Alright, y'all. Welcome back to another video. It's Black Balloon, and y'all already know what's going on. Alright, so as promised, we're here with the Kim Porter video, To Live and Die in LA, with Diddy and Kim Porter. So obviously, we're doing this video because of all the allegations that have came against Diddy. So it's finally that time to fully expose him and Kim Porter and her mysterious death.
Now we're going to go to the mysterious death of Sean Diddy Combs' longtime ex.
Now, there's been a lot of content out there about Kim Porter since she died. I don't think anyone close to Kim believes that she died the way that they say she did.
47 years old. Early on, talking about possible she had pneumonia for quite some time, but we just don't know.
This is one of those topics where there's a lot of inconsistencies. You know, it's almost plain as day if you know what to look for and if you really know how this industry works. In this video, we'll take the time to try to cover it all and really go into the rabbit hole of what we think really happened to Kim Porter, and did Diddy actually blood sacrifice the mother of his children. Now, going back over the stuff that's came out about Kim Porter and her death, honestly, it's just like, it's right there. It's right in your face. Even stuff started coming back up when Diddy was being accused of everything going on with Cassie. Because we all know Cassie basically filed the lawsuit, or the lawsuit became known to the public on November 15th, 2023, which was the same day that they announced Kim Porter's death. Now, they didn't give a reason, the cause of death, until I think January 25th, a full 2 months later. We're going to get into that, though.
Tonight in the death of model and actress Kim Porter. The LA County coroner now calling for, quote, additional investigation, saying the cause of death is deferred for further testing.
You should already know what's going on in this wicked industry. There's no coincidence at all in this world that we live in, and there's no possible way that that lawsuit coming out on November 15th, the day that Kim Porter died, is a coincidence. There's no possible way. I literally feel like it was planned and it was done that way. Whether or not this was something really sinister to do by Cassie, or, this was orchestrated from, somewhere where we're not actually seeing it right now. Because you got to realize, Diddy settled it out the next day, for an undisclosed amount, or, however they went about settling that lawsuit so quickly. So to me, it's something a little bit deeper going on as well, because that's very strange for the lawsuit to hit public and hit the public eye the day that Kim Porter was killed. Killed, yes, the day that she died. So y'all already know what's going on. You can already see how deep and dark it is just by that alone. So that's insane to me. That's just actually crazy. But I'll stop talking right here, y'all, and we'll jump into some clips that I found so far. So y'all, check this out.
But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died.
Now, to give y'all a little bit of context about what Jaguar Wright is actually talking about, she's talking about Al B. Sure, and the fact that shortly after he went on record on Instagram to say that he didn't believe Kim Porter died the way that they said she did from pneumonia, he was in a coma for 2 months. And I think he might have had a stroke. And a lot of this stuff resurfaced when the lawsuit came out with Cassie on November 15th. These are just a couple of Instagram posts. She said, but when Al B. Sure was saying something happened to Kim Porter, nobody wanted to listen. Then he got sick suddenly. Y'all should have listened. They rekindled before she passed. The autopsy at the time claimed that Porter died of lobar pneumonia, which is a bacterial infection in the lobes of one or both lungs. Al B. Sure did not believe so and also requested law enforcement to reinvestigate the fatality. Then it goes on to say, which this is going to be key to a little bit more when we continue to clip with Jaguar Wright. And this is just people that, noticed what was going on Twitter. Nobody remembers when Al B. Sure said that Diddy killed Kim Porter and a few weeks later he was in a coma. I pray to God they looking at Kim Porter death. Al B. Sure been trying to warn people about Diddy. I hate that this happened to Cassie. Kim Porter was writing a tell-all book, then magically died and her computer got misplaced. Al B. Sure got violently sick after he blamed her death on Diddy. And then Kid Cudi's car got blown up for dating Cassie when they broke up. But y'all saying, why is she just now speaking up? This is what Al B. Sure wrote on Instagram. He said, I had no clue, but I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullshit. Really? This is where I get in trouble. We just celebrated our son's new deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health, as well as laughing seeing me and Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater.
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. They have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, you want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Mm-hmm. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
Just like I know Sean Carter poisoned and killed Kim Porter.
Whoa.
Just like I believe.
Whoa.
Just like I believe allegedly you tried to murder my friend and you poisoned my friend, I'll be sure.
Hang on.
You going down, honeycomb.
Now, what she said right there is huge. This is why I said we would get into it a little bit more about how she actually died. She's not afraid to go on record and say that she believed Kim Porter was actually poisoned. Y'all go back early into this video, you'll see the part where I highlighted that the first person basically said that it needed to be additional investigation to confirm how Kim Porter actually died. Go back into that, I think maybe the second news clip that I put into this video, they highlighted that. Now, I thought that was weird because if she died from pneumonia, a certain type of infection to the lungs, that is pretty easy to see. We could go to the doctor right now, and if we got the flu symptoms, symptoms of pneumonia or whatever you want to call it, they're going to find that out pretty easy. A couple of scans, whatever, check your lungs out. They know those kind of symptoms. That's not really, anything crazy. And yes, it can take a person's life. But what's going on here, we think is completely different. And the people around her, like I said, no one believes she actually died from pneumonia. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that the first person to do the autopsy sent it off for additional investigation. So to me, that means someone intervened in what was going on. That's why it took 2 months in order for them to come out and say she died from lobar pneumonia. It don't take 2 months to find out someone died from pneumonia. But in that deep, dark Hollywood world, and you're dealing with billionaires and people who got all this money and reach and power, they were able to, manipulate whatever they had to do, get in the coroner's head, get in the people's head, change this, change that. It's pretty easy for those kind of people who are basically behind the curtain with all the money and all the power to hide the fact that he just sacrificed Kim Porter. And I also saw stuff on the internet that blood found, I think, on her pillow, or it's kind of like a trail of blood leading to the bathroom, that she was not actually found in her bed, but she was found on the floor in the bathroom, which blood is not coming out of anywhere, if you got the flu or pneumonia. So that, that kind of confirms more that she might have actually been poisoned, and we all know Jaguar Wright is not afraid to say what she believes to be true. She also pointed out a little bit more about Heavy D, Andre Harrell, and those original crew of that label who have all died. Al B was close to dying. So that's something else to take note of, because people probably wasn't thinking that Heavy D and Andre Harrell was sacrificed, but it's looking like it was something a lot more sinister behind their deaths as well. Diddy might have been taking these people out for a long time, and that's how now he's almost reached, billionaire status. So this stuff deep, y'all. This stuff deep. Now, y'all know we got to check out his former bodyguard take on it as well. So right now we'll use that time to jump into that next clip. So check this out.
With this Cassie thing, I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter. So people ask me, and they send me clips of Cassie, I guess it's an affidavit to the courts, of what she experienced. And it's like, it was the same thing Kim was going through. The same thing, bro. Kim was going through the same thing. The beatings, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, and now I could say one time when I know Kim had defended herself, and I told people this, and now everybody, after Cassie report comes out, everybody want to show the picture now. You see a picture on the internet going with Puff, right hand is in a bandage. That's the night I was called by Paul to meet him over at St. Luke's Hospital. He had a white t-shirt wrapped around his wrist because Kim had took the cork, where you open up wine, the corkscrew. She took the corkscrew and caught him on his wrist defending himself. And he almost, I know he tore some ligament, but he almost hit an artery or came close to the artery, or either scratched it or cut it a little bit, because he just kept bleeding. And from that point on, he was hooked. That's when I knew when they was talking about people getting addicted and hooked on pain medicines, that's what happened to him. And it was from his right wrist that he's reminded by Kim all the time now. Well, he get the sex trafficking because he took her to different states and had her perform sex acts with different, male prostitutes and different people, sometimes against her will. We look at this and we say, well, that was his girl and she did it on her own. She didn't have to. Man, you can't say that. That was a 19-year-old girl that what they call now groomed by an older man. And yes, she got some of the benefits of being with a billionaire, millionaire, and everything like that. But it's just certain things that he did to groom her and put her into that position that she wanted the career. She wanted to do the music. She wanted to be a performer and all this stuff like that. He held all that shit over her head, bro. And now that she came out and telling everybody her story and what happened to her, people are finding fault in her. People are saying that she she ain't right for putting a lawsuit against him, but she earned every bit of that, bruh. And like I said, I only seen bits and pieces of it, but she earned every bit of that. Yo, I heard that he beat her so bad he sent her to Hawaii so she could stay away from people. That's crazy, man. But that's Kim's story. That's Kim's book. That's Kim's book. Then you heard about the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. He broke Kim. Let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. So Cassie's story is Kim's story.
Now, Gene Deal always has a lot to say about Diddy. And, I think he's just one of those people that really knows who he is. And he uses everything that he knows against Diddy to be able to talk about it. I don't think he has a worry of like, oh, Diddy's so powerful, he'll be able to, get me up out of here and stuff like that. He one of them kind of people that recognize he got the power because he knows everything. And so if anything ever happened to him, the number one person we would question would be Diddy, especially if he was to end up, mysteriously dead the way Kim Porter did. It's not like how, these other rappers, like how Fabulous was acting kind of scared and timid with Diddy when Diddy was drunk and, saying he wanted to party with Fab and all that. It's not like that with people like Gene Deal that know everything about Diddy, that was there before, this new Diddy and stuff when he was Puff Daddy. These younger artists, they're scared of power because they don't have all that on Diddy. They may know some of the things about, him and his zesty ways and stuff like that, but they scared of the power that Diddy hold, and plus they want to hold their position in the industry because they know Diddy could get him up out of there, and I don't mean kill him, but, he could basically end their career because, he went on to say that he got Wendy Williams to get out of New York and go to Philly on a whole new station. Clearly, he got a lot of power. Like we already know Diddy is a gatekeeper. He's damn near one of the biggest, you know what I'm saying? Executive producer, whatever you want to call it. He holds power just as much as probably any other player in the game when we speaking on, that kind of level. He's speaking on those guys that really hold power in the industry. People are afraid of that. Like, you're afraid of people who have $1 billion. They can do whatever they want to do. That's why her death was set up in the way that it was, because of somebody like him that has power in order to be able to do that. And I think she was already being monitored by someone that Diddy set up, like a doctor or whatever he set up to watch her, because that was the play. He was setting up, sacrificing her. Everything that happened around her death, her being perfectly fine just days before, I think she had a fever or something that went up to 102 degrees. It came down. She got well even the night before. She was chilling with her family. The next morning, she ended up dead. 11:30, supposedly a housemate found her, and they called the police. But this is why everybody's saying that, she was perfectly fine leading up to her death until she caught the flu, which she tested negative for the flu and something else. I can't remember, but it went away. Basically, everything went away, and all of a sudden, 3 days later, she ends up dying. So to me, it's just another sacrifice that happens in the industry, of somebody who has enough money to set this up to get someone out the way who knows every single thing about you. And look what happens. It still bites him in the face with Cassie. He still has things come out about him that he probably never wanted people to know with Cassie, because you can't get rid of everybody. And the truth is not always going to just be buried. Like I said before, the truth is probably one of the most powerful things there is. It's going to come out. And it did with Diddy. And unfortunately, Kim Porter, is another example of to live and die in that.